They told you Antarctica is nothing but ice, wind, and silence. They were lying, not with loud denial, not with obvious deception, with something far more effective, with carefully managed silence, with textbooks that stop asking questions at exactly the right moment, with maps that show you borders but never what lies beyond them, with scientists who speak in careful language designed not to reveal but to contain. What if the coldest place on Earth is not a wasteland at all? What if it is a vault? And what if everything locked inside it was placed there, not by nature, but by someone who needed it hidden? This is not a theory invented on the internet. This is a question that has haunted cartographers, naval officers, independent researchers, and dying men in hospital beds for over a century. And the closer anyone gets to an answer, the quieter they become. Let us start where all buried things start. With a map. In 1513, an Ottoman admiral named Piri Reis drew a map of the world. That alone is not remarkable. What is remarkable is what appears at the bottom of that map. A detailed, accurate coastline of a continent that was not officially discovered by modern civilization until 1820. 307 years later. The coastline shown on the Piri Reis map does not match Antarctica as we see it today, buried under miles of ice. It matches Antarctica as it would appear without the ice, as it would have looked thousands of years before any known human civilization possessed ships capable of reaching it. When this was pointed out to the scientific establishment, the response was not curiosity. It was dismissal. Cartographic error, they said. Misinterpretation of the South American coastline, they said. Move along. Nothing to see here, they said. But the map did not go away, and neither did the questions, because Piri Reis was not the only one. The Oronteus Finaeus map drawn in 1531 also shows Antarctica, not as a vague smudge but as a detailed continent with mountain ranges, river valleys, and coastal features that were only confirmed by modern seismic surveys conducted in the 20th century. Surveys that required technology that did not exist in 1531. Technology that, by every account we have been given, did not exist for thousands of years before 1531. So who drew these maps? And where did they get their information? The answer that no institution wants to say out loud is this. Someone was there before us. Someone mapped that coastline when it was warm, when it was green, when it was alive, and whatever they found, or whatever they were, has been buried under ice and silence ever since. Now here's where the weight of this stops feeling like speculation and starts feeling like something else entirely. In 2018, satellite imagery of Antarctica revealed a series of geometric formations beneath the ice shelf near the trans-Antarctic mountains. Not the smooth curves of natural rock, not the random patterns of erosion, right angles, uniform spacing, repeating structures arranged across several square kilometers in patterns that glaciologists quietly acknowledged did not match any known natural formation process. The images circulated briefly, then the conversation stopped. No follow-up expedition was announced. No paper was published. No explanation was given. Silent. The same silence that followed the 2006 discovery of a massive lake beneath the East Antarctic ice sheet. Lake Vostok, a body of water the size of Lake Ontario that had been sealed under 2 miles of ice for an estimated 15 million years. Scientists drilled down to reach it. What they found in the water samples caused the lead researcher to go quiet for 2 years before releasing a heavily edited report stating only that the microbial life discovered was unlike anything previously catalogued on Earth. Unlike anything on Earth. And then, silence. Think about what that means. Not unfamiliar, not previously undiscovered, unlike anything on Earth. a retired naval officer who served on Operation High Jump, the 1946 American military expedition to Antarctica, led by Admiral Richard Byrd, gave a recorded interview 3 weeks before his death, in which he stated plainly that the mission was not a scientific expedition. It was a reconnaissance, and that what the fleet encountered in those waters was not ice and wildlife. He described craft moving at speeds no vessel of that era could match, craft that came from beneath the water. He said the mission returned early not because of weather, but because of losses. Losses that were never officially recorded. Losses that have never been explained. Admiral Byrd himself, a decorated war hero, a man with no reason to invent stories, gave a press interview after the mission in which he stated that Antarctica concealed, and I am paraphrasing his words only slightly, a land of mystery beyond the pole where craft could appear that flew from pole to pole into incredible speeds, then buried. The interview was not anonymous voices from the edge of the internet. These are documented men, documented missions, documented statements that were acknowledged, recorded, and then carefully set aside. So ask yourself this: if there is nothing there, why does Antarctica have a treaty signed in 1959 by every major world power, simultaneously agreeing that no individual nation can claim it, govern it, or conduct military operations there? Not one country, not two, all of them, together, in the same year. Why does a frozen wasteland of ice and penguins require the urgent coordinated legal protection of every powerful government on the planet? Ice does not require a treaty. Secrets do. And now, consider the timing. 1959. 13 years after Operation High Jump returned early with unexplained losses and a shaken admiral making statements that were quickly buried. 13 years is exactly long enough to negotiate, draft, and ratify a binding international agreement among governments that do not agree on anything else. They agreed on this. We are not saying we know what is beneath the ice. We are not claiming to have answers that the scientists and governments have been hiding. What we are saying, what the maps, the satellite images, the sealed lake samples, the early mission, the treaty, and the silence all point to, is that the question itself is being managed, that the boundary of what you are permitted to wonder about has been drawn by people who had a reason to draw it, and the most powerful thing you can do is simply refuse to stop wondering. The ice has been there for thousands of years. The silence has been there for decades. But silence is not the same as empty, and a door that is locked is not the same as a door that leads nowhere. Something is on the other side, and somewhere, someone knows exactly what it is. And that is where they want the story to end, but we are just getting started. Every week we go deeper into the mysteries, the secrets, and the questions that the powerful hope you never think to ask. The Roanoke Colony, Area 51, the pyramids, the lost civilizations, the things beneath the ice. We are coming for all of it. If this video made you think, if it made you question even one thing you were told was settled, then you already know what to do. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and come back for what we uncover next. Because the rabbit hole goes much deeper than this.